This is it. Today is the day
I think I'm
of my victory.
What was it? Yeah, Grand Prix 150.
Yes, 150.
It's been a minute since we recorded, so I'm just catching up. I'm gonna go Metal Mario.
I'm gonna go Tanuki Mario. So what's new? What's been snapping?
Right, go see The Flash.
Oh, we did go see The Flash.
What did you think?
I really enjoyed The Flash. Even after, thinking about it.
I was very surprised. I expected to not like it because Ezra. I expected normally I had the art from artist separation is kind of an easy one, but he's such a farter that I thought it'd bother me, but he's really, really good in it. So it was, and there's two of them. That's not really a spoiler. I think that's in the trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he were bad, then it really would have been
Banana.
bad. So we did that one.
Did that.
So this one.
Banana.
Donut Plains 3 is pish, but okie dokie.
I think he always played two Flashes. He played the Flash from the Joss Whedon version of Justice League, and he played the Flash from Zack Snyder's. And
I kind of did know when you think about it.
I thought that was a good way to kind of acknowledge both movies, while also kind of be like, we know which one's better.
Yeah, they've pretty much made the Snyder cut is kind of the official canon version now, I guess you could say, which is a good decision because it's better. But I'm surprised because it was sort of the director's cut, non-canon. I haven't seen Aquaman, but does Aquaman not act as if? Doesn't it follow Justice League?
I don't know.
Yeah, it follows Justice League, doesn't it?
I wouldn't necessarily say it follows Justice
League.
It
could just be its own thing, really.
Yeah. I don't recall anything in it. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I don't recall anything that kind of made it essential to one or t'other. I'm doing terrible already, and I was determined to win as well. I think it's just it's getting a lot of hate, and I don't really understand why.
What's the hate it's getting? Because you mentioned that, but I told you to hold off and tell me.
It's just like, it's doing worse in its second weekend, and they're like,
but don't the vast majority of films do worse in their second weekend?
But Spider-Man is kind of maintaining, so it's dropped off massively. And they're like, but I don't feel that's a good indicator that it was a bad movie. I think some people were really hating on it because they're like,
the whole Ezra Miller thing.
Exactly. And I'm like, yeah, but it didn't feel like it affected the movie. I wasn't watching it going like, pure.
Well, the thing is if you really just can't stomach looking at the guy, he's all over it.
Yeah,
there's two of them.
Obviously, he's in
the main
movie,
character. Yeah.
A lot of people don't like the ending with George Clooney. Spoiler alert. Because they said it should have been Christian Bale, was a lot of people's criticism.
But we don't know where they're going with it. We don't even know if that's Batman.
It's Bruce Wayne, but it's not. You're right.
No, does he even say he's Bruce Wayne?
Well, it's yeah.
Does he say he's Bruce?
He sees it on the phone. He's like, "Oh, Bruce, I'm so happy to hear from you." Blah blah blah. Sure, he says that.
Yeah, but
fuck off.
Yeah. What I'm saying is the voice he hears on the phone might not be George Clooney's voice. Is what I'm saying.
What?
So when he climbs out of the car, because when he actually gets out of the car and he says
but I think it's well heavily insinuated it is him.
Well, yeah, it is, but this is what I'm saying is. He says, "Are you Batman?" And he goes, "What are you talking about?"
Oh,
He could be anybody. He could just be like some bodyguard who's been sent to.
Yes, get him.
No, don't. Yes. Who could just be sent to pick him up, and he's like, "What? What are you talking about?" He could be anybody. That if he just was like, "I," then you know. What? And the problem with it as well is that you can say, it should have been Christian Bale, but then you're dragging the whole
in this
Dark Knight
article
trilogy into it, and that really just would not belong with other superhero.
Exactly.
In a sort of shared universe, that would just ruin. It just wouldn't work.
It doesn't work. Christopher Nolan's Batman is its own kind of thing. It's like his own interpretation.
Yeah. Whether you like Batman and Robin or not, and I don't, I think it's terrible, but you could drop like other superheroes in there.
Ah, that world is quirky.
It'd be alright. It'd be fine. Yeah, you dirty.
Look at Bowser. Oh, what was that? What did you hit me with?
Banana.
I don't say nothing.
He's mute.
Oh, come on, man. Don't just drop a bomb in front of myself. That's fine. Already back in.
So folk were saying like it should have been Chrissy Bale.
Aye, that was one person was like, oh, but Christian Bale did well to stay away from it, and it was again they didn't even give any real valid criticism. You know what I mean? It's one of those articles a bit clickbaity to be like,
yeah, I mean,
it should have been Christian Bale.
Like that would have to use a pro wrestling expression would have popped if would have cheered if it would have been Christian Bale. Would have been like, oh holy shit, it's Christian Bale. Yeah, sure, but. We don't know what the plan is. It doesn't make or break the film. It was a fun little moment at the end for me. We don't know where they're going with this next.
I suspect nowhere. Like, I don't think George Clooney's going to
I don't think so
the Batman tool.
No, I think I don't. That's what I'm saying. I think it was just a little Easter egg, a little quirk.
And even he admits they called him up relatively short notice to make the cameo.
Yeah, it was a cameo. It was just an interest. That's why I'm saying I doubt that he's even Batman. I doubt he's got anything to do with it.
Yeah.
I reckon it's a red herring type of thing. I reckon he's just a bodyguard or something like that.
Okay, so you think he's even less than... I think he is Bruce Wayne, but I don't think he'll play Batman in any of the movies.
You think it was just a one-off cameo?
It was just a one-off cameo.
And they'll get a new guy? No, I think
they'll do a new universe.
I think everybody's going to be younger because that's why they patched Henry Cavill. Is because Jimmy Gunn wants to do a fresh Superman and have him be young, and the brief layout of the story that he wants to do sounds pretty decent to me. It's just your kind of Daily Planet like storyline, and it sounds like it could be good. But he said he just doesn't want the baggage. He wants to just start afresh. If it's some new rebooted universe, then they're just rebooting everyone apart from I think Aquaman.
Okay.
So everybody's.
So they're going to reboot Flash as well?
No, sorry, so
keep Flash, maybe reboot Wonder Woman as well.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because they kind of say that she was part of a cameo at the end, and so was... Because they had different endings sort of in mind for the movie. So they filmed like Wonder Woman making a cameo at the end, but they kind of took that out, possibly for the same reason as Henry Cavill. This is a bit on the old side now, but no. Overall, it was an enjoyable movie, and I would definitely go back.
The opening I thought was great.
The mad scene with the babies in the microwave and all that. It was brilliant.
Although, did you think the CG was a bit awful at some points?
The CG was pretty terrible, but in some ways it kind of still worked, I thought.
I think it was probably just a case that there was so much. I mean,
so much CG throughout the movie.
Yeah, that I think there was just a few moments, like the time bowl thing, whatever you would call it.
The time bowl looks a bit ugly.
Utter shite,
but I felt it worked because of his kind of perspective, like of being in that kind of weird fishbowl thing.
I suppose,
I always felt the fishbowl I wasn't too annoyed about. The scene with the babies, I was like, looks pretty terrible. Although in the end credits, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it was the dog, wasn't it?
The dog, like, kind of getting hit in the face with stuff.
He was trying to catch the hot dog and stuff.
He was like trying to catch the hot dog and do all this stuff. Come on, of course.
Fucking pervert did that.
Exactly.
Get that
Is that you?
With the bomb?
Yeah.
That was me, sorry. In fact, no, I'm not sorry. Move it, bitch.
And I didn't predict most of it. The only part that actually genuinely kind of annoyed me was the scene when Superwoman or Supergirl took him up into space to get him struck by lightning. I was like,
really?
Because it was just like, I was dumb. I just thought it was really dumb. Like, that's not how it happened. And also, why did it work the second time? He had none of the chemicals, and maybe argue he had the residue of the chemicals on him, but I was like, nah.
Yeah, true, but I mean, I don't know. It was more dramatic to have it not work, I guess. But why? Why did it
work the second time? It's kind of. I was sitting there going, why does her holding him now make it work?
Maybe she's a conductor.
Better conductor than just nothing. I don't know. I can't see.
I hate that freaking item.
I get hit with that item, honestly, like every fucking game. And I can't see, can't do jack shit about it.
It's gay as because like it does not affect the CPU in the slightest. It's just us. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's like more of a electricity freaking conductor or some horse shit.
Nah.
I'll give it a pass because
why
for the drama.
Get him! No!
What is it with these things trying to get me right as I cross the finish line? Yeah, I mean the action I thought was really good.
I like the humour. Amanda was
Yeah, I thought it
howling
was
at
funny.
that bit when he's standing there with like the peanut butter in his dressing gown eating peanut butter. She's like, that's me.
Oh,
And I'm like, that is you recently. She's just pure like mad for peanut butter.
I'm not an expert on the Flash. I've read some Flash stuff. I'm not an expert. I don't know if it works that way, as in like he loses his powers if his calories are too low, or if it's more just a kind of he feels tired type of thing.
Aye.
But it's one of those things that the way they illustrated it in the film, even if it's not exactly how it's meant to work, it illustrates it so everybody kind of can understand it straight away.
Exactly. It's again.
It's like an energy bar in a game going down, and maybe that is exactly how it goes in the comics. I don't believe it is, but
I think it varies depending on who you're reading and when you're reading it. It is a thing, and it has been the thing in sort of the TV show of the Flash as well. Like he actually in the very first episode of the Flash, he's been in a coma, and they're like, well, we couldn't really figure out why you were in a coma, but then we realised it's because you weren't getting enough calories, and they basically like pure fed him buttloads and brought him back. And then it's like, they do the whole montage of him kind of learning to use his powers.
that's sweet.
And I kind of appreciate that we sort of skipped that. I didn't like Iris. That was the other thing. I thought him and Iris felt really forced. Iris
Oh
West.
yes, well there you go. I had to think twice about
Sorry,
it.
Iris Allen. No, Iris West. She becomes Iris West Allen.
I had to think twice about who she was. Yeah, that felt a little maybe underdeveloped, really.
But she was kind of like. I mean, they did kind of establish, she knows him from like high school or whatever. So, but I was kind of like, at the end, you can like ask me out. I was like, all right, okay. Did we have any sort of real, emotional connection? Well, apparently we did. And me and Amanda were talking about they're maybe leaning on the fact that the Flash TV show has spent years like establishing Iris and the Flash as a thing. See, what is that? I literally had golden mushrooms and all sorts on the flyover. How you nearly finished this level?
Because I'm amazing.
Honestly, man. Somebody come round here and smash him at this game, because this is... I'm literally incapable of doing it. And like, I'm in second. I actually got a superstar in second place, which doesn't make much sense.
That's not bad.
Pretty good, eh? It's normally my big criticism of Mario Kart is you never get good items when you're in like
Another thing
prime position.
that I liked was people had different fighting styles. Like Kara is sort of untrained, but she's just a beast.
Aye.
Whereas like Keaton's Batman, Keaton's Batman actually even moved a little bit different from what do you call him? Benny's Batman. He moved a little bit differently.
Yeah, he's more close to Batfleck, I would say. But when he does like a kick, he moves. I feel a bit more like the 1989 Batman. Which I really liked.
Which was it's little details like that I thought was cool. They had their individual kind of like ways of fighting. Even experienced Barry Allen kind of knows how to use his powers and fight and shit like that a little bit, whereas like young Barry Allen kind of doesn't. And I just thought that was really cool, like the way they kind of played that in, because it makes sense in the story. It's not just because I pure love fighting, but it makes sense with the story. It adds to it. It adds to like he's a bit more experienced and he's learned some stuff and yada yada yada. And this is like an old Batman who's like, if you're willing to suspend your disbelief to the point that like if he's like 60 but he's still physically in great condition or whatever, then he's going to be at his like best because he's got all that experience, all that training. That's what I mean. Suspend your disbelief and just believe a 60-year-old can move as well as a 30-year-old, and yeah, he would be awesome. He would be at his peak. So So yeah, it was just shit like that I thought was cool. Kara's like just kind of, she's not really that trained or what have you. I'm impressed as well, not to go on a big tangent, but I'm impressed as well that they had the balls to have Zod actually like beat her.
Yeah, no,
Because number one, they don't like that, and number two, the whole feminist thing of whenever a woman fights a man in a film, especially superhero films, have you noticed how the woman always wins?
Yes, recently, yes. It's been a bit of a problem. And it's perpetuated into the Marvel TV shows.
Yeah.
She-Hulk was abysmal for that.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it's like...
but then, then they had a woman fight a woman, and I think they didn't really know how to deal with it.
Oh, exactly. You can't have a woman fight a woman because then it's a cat fight and it's sexist.
Yeah.
So it has to be a woman fight a man, and if the man wins, then that's sexist. So the woman has to win, so you know what I mean? Like, but again, it was like Zod and his homies and the whole army... She doesn't really know how to use her powers.
Exactly. She was out Gunn. She'd been sitting in a Russian prison for like 10 years.
I mean,
she was not Superman.
The Man of Steel I've actually only seen the one time, and I still like it in my head. If I watch that again, I might not like it. But anyway,
watch it again.
One of the things about it though is that maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like it was kind of put across that Clark beating Zod was a bit of a fluke in that.
Yes.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
I think if Zod wasn't so cocky,
he got lucky. Like it's sort of
he neck breaks him. No, Zod's more or less like an open goal. He's trying to laser vision like a load of people. He's not like really trying to deal with Clark.
Well, because in Man of Steel they make the whole thing about he's been bred for generations to be like a warrior, whereas Clark Kent's been he's the son of a freaking
scientist.
A scientist. But then again, that always annoyed me at the start of Man of Steel because Jor-El fucking gives Zod the hands in the right at the beginning.
Aye.
You remember?
Aye,
and I'm like, so
aye.
This guy that's been bred for genetically engineered for generations to be like a pure elite warrior fighter just gets decked by fucking Bill Nye the Science Guy. You're like,
That's how it goes down, man.
Russell Crowe must have just had that in his contract or some shit.
Anyway. He needs to lose every fight. Nah, I'm kidding.
But anyway, I'll shut up.
Okay. Let's view results. And then
I won, so.
I know you won. Don't need to rub it in.
That was Titans is a terrible show.
There's a new season of it.
I know, I saw that. It's fascinating how bad it is, though. It's worth watching because of how bad it is. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it happens in that actually because Deathstroke is in it, and he fights. Oh, what's her name? Wonder Woman's weird sort of sidekick, Donna Troy.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Donna Troy?
Maybe it is.
He fights her at one point and he swings her about, and I was really surprised at it because. Well, they'd written themselves into a corner. Deathstroke couldn't really lose the fight, so he doesn't. He just does her. He swings her about, and I was so surprised because I was like, "A woman lost a fight in a superhero show? Like that never happens." But again, it's with the story, it should have happened. Yay!